Hello there. This video is a detailed guide to the functional or technical driving test for anyone getting their license in Korea. I recently passed this test myself and, sure, there's a lot of useful information out there in Korean, but so much of it doesn't exist anywhere in English, and often the translations can be confusing or just don't make sense. But don't worry, I've created a tutorial telling you exactly how to pass the test first time. Whether you take the test directly at the Korean DMV or go through a driving school, you're going to save a ton of money if you know this stuff before your first try because then you won't be paying to retake the test. And trust me, even if you're an experienced driver, none of this stuff is common sense. The failure rate is crazy. Seriously, something like 70%. Some of you might take the test in a manual transmission car, also known as stick, so I'll be talking a little about what to do with the gear shifts. If you're taking the test in an automatic, you can just ignore those parts. Before we talk about any driving, there are some things you need to know about the test procedure. The first thing you need to be familiar with is the little test computer on top of the car's dashboard. The test operator should set this computer to English, so be sure to remind the test center or driving school when you sign up. Next, I want to give you a brief overview of the test route. Here's the map, which is standardized for all test centers, so take a good look. This is the starting point, where you'll be tested on controlling two random car functions, such as wipers or turn signals. Next, there's a steep incline to test uphill starts. Following the road around leads to the intersection, where you must go straight. The next section is made up of parking bays, where you'll have to perform a parking maneuver. After exiting the parking bay, you'll arrive at the intersection again, and you must turn left. This long stretch of road is the speed section, where you'll accelerate to above 20 kilometers per hour. You'll finish around here, close to the starting line, with a final safe stop. So, altogether, that's setting off, incline, intersection, parking maneuver, intersection again, speed course, and finish. Awesome. Now, I'm going to talk you through the test. The maximum score available is 100 points. The pass mark is 80, so there's really not much room for error. Also, some major mistakes can mean you fail instantly. Don't worry though. After each step, I'll tell you where you might lose marks and give you some pointers on how to avoid mistakes. Try remember these, and I'm sure you'll do great. Your car will be positioned here at the start line, either in lane 1 on the left or lane 2 on the right. When you enter your car, adjust the seat to a comfortable position, fasten the seat belt, and wait for the computer to say,
"The test will begin in a moment." The test proceeds with an instruction, and when a candidate doesn't operate a device according to instructions, a point will be deducted. Now, the test will begin. Please start the engine in 5 seconds.
This is your cue to start the car. If you can't turn on the engine within 5 seconds, the computer will ask you again. If you can't start the engine after being asked 3 times, you'll fail the test. When you do start the engine successfully, you're going to hear this friendly little beep. The test has now started, and you have 9 minutes and 30 seconds to complete it. The time is displayed right here. Also, 3 points are deducted for every 5 seconds you exceed the time limit. It's more than enough time if you know what's coming up. The computer will now say,
2 out of 4 criteria of driving device operating ability will be evaluated without releasing the handbrake.
2 of these 4 functions will be randomly selected. Changing gears, headlights, wipers, or turn signals. This is actually an easy part of the test since you don't even have to drive. But so many people lose points here because of the awkward timings, and the English instruction can also be confusing, so here's what to expect. If the computer selects changing gears, you'll be asked to put the car into either first gear or reverse. If the computer asks you to select the rear gear, this just means reverse. Nobody actually calls it that in English, but now you know you won't get caught off guard. Like I said, the biggest chance for error here is the timing, and that's especially true for the headlights, wipers, and turn signals.
Why?
Well, listen to this.
Check the ability to operate turn signals. Within 5 seconds, please turn on the left turn signal.
That last beep means you have successfully turned on the signal. Most people, like me, would then cancel the signal. But you actually have to wait until you hear the following instruction.
Within 5 seconds, please turn off the turn signal.
So my advice here is, remember to wait. It's exactly the same if you have to operate the wipers and headlights. Have a listen.
Check the ability to operate wipers. Within the next 5 seconds, operate the wipers. Within the next 5 seconds, turn off the wipers.
If you make a mistake, 5 points will be deducted, and you will not be told to repeat the action you failed. Honestly, guys, as long as you play around with the lights, turn signals, and wipers before your test, and kind of see how they work in the test car, all you need to do is be careful of these timings. After the 2 car functions have been tested, you'll hear this.
Now, check the basic driving ability. Maintain a driving speed of 20 kilometers per hour. Now, the test will begin. Release the handbrake and move forward.
It's time to move off from the starting point. Before you release the parking brake, you need to turn on the left turn signal. Setting off without it is a 5-point deduction. Once the signal is on, you can release the parking brake, put the car in first gear or drive, and move off slowly. After moving forward for about 1 second, cancel the left turn signal. Leaving it on for more than 10 meters will be another 5 points gone. So the routine here is left signal, release parking brake, first gear or drive, move off, cancel turn signal. If you can't move off within 30 seconds, or if you move more than 1 meter with your parking brake still on, it's an instant fail. So long as you take your time to check and follow the routine we just learned, there's no need to panic here. Remember, the next section is the incline ramp, where you'll have to do an uphill start. The computer won't give you any instructions here, and if you miss it completely, then it's an instant fail. So, listen up. As you approach the ramp, accelerate very gently, just enough to position the car between these 2 white lines, then stop completely. Don't put the parking brake on. You'll know when you're in the correct position because the uphill car icon on the computer will change from blue to orange. Wait 3 seconds in this position, then step on the gas and move off again. There's no need to rush this at all. You have up to 30 seconds to move off again. If you take longer though, it's an instant fail. It's also an instant fail if you let the car roll backward over 1 meter, so take your time and make sure the car feels ready before stepping off the brake and onto the gas. Follow the road all the way to the intersection. You have to steer left round this bend, but there's no need for the turn signal. Just be careful to stay in your lane. If at any point your wheels touch the yellow lines or cross the center line, a whole 15 points get deducted. So, take it nice and slow, and pay attention. As you approach the intersection, keep an eye on these traffic lights. If it's green, carry on straight across. If you see a yellow or red light, stop before the white line. Again, it's better to play it safe and stop a short distance before the white line, because if your bumper crosses that line when the light's red, that's an instant fail. If the light has been green for a while and you feel like it's going to change any moment, you can slow down your approach to the junction without any penalty. If you start to cross the intersection on a green light and it changes suddenly, just carry on to the other side. Whatever you do, don't stop in the middle of the intersection. Now it's time for the infamous parking section of the test. This is where most people lose a ton of points or even fail, so I'll break it down into logical steps. While this section of the course looks super confusing, it's actually 4 separate parking bays. Usually, you can head towards any one that's free. However, if it's a really busy day, there might be a member of staff stood around here, indicating which one you're supposed to use with his hand. The entry points to bays 1 and 2 are here. To enter bays 3 and 4, you need to follow the road around to the other side. Now, the maneuver you're going to perform looks like this. First you turn in, then reverse at a right angle, and finish by driving out. Let's take a closer look at how to do this the correct way. Make sure you drive in real slow and come to a stop where your shoulder lines up with the corner. When you're lined up, turn the wheel all the way to the right. It'll do about 2 full spins. With the wheel in place, move off again as slowly as possible. You want to end up here slightly over to the left. A good sign that you're in the right place is to look at this curb straight ahead of you. If your seat lines up with 1/3 of the way along the curb, then you're good. Also, don't forget to turn the steering wheel back as you complete the turn. By the way, as you enter the parking bay, you're going to hear this beep. That means that you have 2 minutes to complete the parking maneuver and exit the parking bay. That doesn't mean you have 2 minutes to finish the whole test, so don't panic, but it does mean a 10-point deduction if you can't complete the section in time. Okay, so next you gotta focus on this curb to the left. Move forward and gently stop until the left door handle lines up with the curb like this. Then, turn the wheel a half turn to the right. Move forward very slowly until the edge of the left side mirror meets the left corner in front of you. It should look like this. Next, turn the steering wheel fully left until it locks. Select reverse gear and slowly back into the parking space. As you're backing up, keep looking in the left mirror so you can check the car's position relative to the yellow line. When the car is straight, turn the steering wheel back to the middle so you can back up all the way to the white line behind you. Make sure you touch the white line because leaving the bay without doing this is an instant fail. As soon as the rear wheels touch that white line, stop. The computer will say,
Confirmed.
When you hear this, activate the parking brake, then you'll hear a beep. The beep means you can take off the parking brake and exit the parking bay. Move off super slowly and stop when the curb is parallel with the right door handle. Turn the steering wheel fully to the right, then exit the area. Just be careful not to touch the yellow line on your way in or out of the parking bay, because that's another 10-point deduction. So from the top, that's line up the car for entry. Enter the parking area. Stop when the left door handle lines up with the curb. Line up the left mirror with the top corner. Reverse into the bay. Touch the white line and activate the parking brake. Release the parking brake and move off. Line up the right door handle with the curb and slowly exit. Wow. That was a whole lot to take in, right? Don't worry, just watch the video back and you'll get it in no time at all. You'll be happy to hear that the hard part is over. When you exit the parking bay, follow the road to the intersection. We've dealt with this intersection before, so it should be a breeze. The only difference is that this time you'll be making a left turn, so make sure you flick the turn signal on approach. If you forget, it's a 5-point deduction. And remember that if you need to stop at a red light, do it well before the white line to avoid a penalty. And if there's a sudden change, don't stop in the middle of the intersection. Follow the road round to this long yellow stretch at the top. You are now at the speed course. This part is actually pretty fun. All you have to do is speed up to above 20 kilometers per hour. When you pass the first 20 sign, step on the gas and look down at the car dials behind the steering wheel. The one on the right is the speedometer, so you can see when you hit 20 kilometers per hour. When you're done, make sure to brake so that you slow down to your original speed by the time the car reaches this second 20 sign. If somehow you can't exceed 20 kilometers per hour on the speed course, then it's an instant fail. But it's pretty straightforward compared to the rest of the test. Those of you in a manual car need to pay attention to the revs dial on the left of the speedometer. As you accelerate, it will go up, and when it hits number 2, you need to shift into second gear. Then, without releasing the clutch, shift back down into first gear again. If you don't execute a gear change here, then you'll fail instantly. After the speed course, the end is very much in sight. Turn the corner, there's no need to use the turn signal, and go straight until you're almost past the parking area. Then activate your right turn signal, and you want to come to a stop over here, just past the white finish line. Forgetting the right turn signal at this part is a 5-point deduction, so don't get distracted. When you're stopped, activate the parking brake and turn off the engine. Hopefully you'll hear this.
Congratulations, you passed the test. After stopping the vehicle, please put the gear shift into neutral or parking. In case of an automatic gear, push the handbrake and follow the guide from the safety instructor.
The test is now finished, and someone will come to get you. But we actually still have one more super important thing to talk about. At some point during the test, you're going to have to perform an emergency stop. The bad news is that you don't actually know where it's going to be. The good news is that it definitely won't be during the hill start, or the parking maneuver, or the speed course. When you're driving between areas, go super slow and mentally prepare yourself in case you hear this noise.
Emergency, emergency.
As soon as you hear it, hit the brakes and come to a complete stop. Fast. Then, press the emergency blinkers button right away. You'll notice that the big green light next to the computer is now red. Just wait until the light turns green again. Turn off the emergency blinkers and carry on with the course. Honestly, guys, this part is also really easy as long as you're aware of a couple of things. You have 2 seconds to react to the noise and stop. Any longer than that, and it's a 10-point deduction. After you stop suddenly, you have another 3 seconds to press the emergency blinkers button, which is plenty of time, but if you don't make it, then 10 points will be deducted. And the last thing, don't forget to turn the blinkers off again, or, that's right, a 10-point penalty. The last thing I gotta do is give you a heads up about some deductions I haven't mentioned so far. First, never ever drive onto the curb. I don't mean the yellow line, but the actual raised part of the road. This is an instant fail. Driving any distance without your seatbelt on is another fail. So check and check again at the start of your test. The speed limit of the course is 20 kilometers per hour, and 3 points will be deducted for every 3 seconds you go over the speed. But, like I've said a million times, you should take the whole course slowly, so there's no reason for you to be speeding. Note, this penalty obviously doesn't apply to the speed course, where it's mandatory to go above 20. And there's one more for manual cars only. Remember we talked about the dial next to the speed dial? You're supposed to get it up to number 2 during the speed course, right? Well, if this dial ever goes higher than number 4, you get 5 points deducted every single time. But that only happens if you push the gas too hard. So again, take it slow, and you don't even have to worry about it. Well, that's all there is to know about this infamous test. I recommend you rewatch each part of the video until you're familiar with everything and you get used to the computer noises. A little personal advice here too. You might make a mistake or two. Almost everybody does. Don't let it put you off. 80 points sounds like a really high pass mark, but losing 5 points here or there is still enough to pass, so don't be unsettled. I know you can do it. Good luck. Please like this video and share your experience of the test in the comments section below.